So first we start with a Shamatha practice focused on the awareness. And so with a positive state of mind, with a correct motivation, let's go right into the practice. Beginning with the preparation process, allow the awareness to descend into the space of the body. First going downward, noticing physical sensations where the body is in contact with the ground or the chair. Landing in this way, in this realm of physical sensations. Allowing both your body and your mind to become grounded and stable. Then observing the body in its entirety, becoming aware of the body as a whole, and simply paying attention to whatever physical sensation manifests. Also noticing the posture, making sure your back is straight and upright without any tension. Allowing your legs to be a point of stability. Letting the hands rest gently on the lap. All of the points of the posture done without any tension or tightness. And then simply begin to scan the body from the top of the head to the tip of the toes. Noticing the presence of tension, of tightness or constraint on the muscles. And allowing it to dissolve, relaxing and letting go. Breathing all of that tension out with every single out-breath. Give yourself the space to rest. And to complete the preparation, just observe the breath for a few rounds. And then letting go of the breath and the physical sensations. We completely give up observing the space of physicality and turn the attention into awareness itself. So allowing your eyes to be at least partially open, simply gazing unfocusedly in the space in front of you. Let the mind rest, and without really doing much, just observe the constant flow of awareness. Objects will continue to appear to your senses and to your mind. However, there is no need to pay attention to them in this case. Just stay with the awareness, with the quality of knowing. Letting go of all objects and simply focus on the experience. If you notice that there's too many thoughts and you're getting overwhelmed by mental objects, try to lower your gaze, to relax a bit more. Doing your best not to get caught up in thoughts, just release them. Loosen the grip. Go back to letting the mind rest and simply observe, turning awareness upon itself. Or if by contrast you notice the presence of dullness, even though you don't fall asleep, but you don't clearly have a hold on the object, then you can raise your gaze a little bit and increase the focus and the clarity in the object without tensing up. Simply try to notice more vividly the fact that you're aware. Letting go of whatever comes and simply allowing the mind to rest. There is nothing to do, nothing to accomplish. Simply observe the stillness. The awareness of the mind. If you find yourself lost in the practice, you can bring the attention back to the breath. Relax and don't force anything. But even then, you can simply keep a small part of your awareness noticing the stillness behind the process of breathing. That which knows and pays attention. Gently coming back to the body, noticing physical sensations coming out of meditation and giving yourself a time to take care of the body. You need to move, to shift. I think that one challenging aspect of this particular practice is that you actually have to do nothing, and that's very difficult. I remember there was this experiment that they did back in 2014, I think, where they took random people, not meditators, just common people, and they gave them the option to just sit in a room, a very plain room, no decoration, no pictures, no nothing, just blank walls, and just a chair in the middle. And they gave them the option to just sit in the room for 15 minutes and just think about their lives or whatever. They could think, at least that. And so a lot of the people were just fidgeting around, becoming very anxious. And then seeing that was the case in the second part of the experiment, the scientists gave the people a button, and so they gave them the chance to press that button, which would give them an electrical discharge. 67% of men and 28% of women would choose to get electrical shocks rather than to sit with themselves for 15 minutes. So I think we're all doing fine. In my book, it's fine. So don't worry too much about it if the practice doesn't come immediately. It's a process. It is something that needs to be cultivated. And again, in the modern world, sadly, we're not used to even sitting and thinking for a bit. So, let alone say doing absolutely nothing. So it's just a matter of doing it again and again and letting things settle down, It's like when we have a glass of water which is mixed with mud, and if you stir it with a spoon, then the whole thing is going to become brown and ugly. But then if you let it settle for a long while, then the mud will go down and the water will come to the surface, and the water is clear and pure, as it has always been. So those impurities don't mix. And so if you let your body, your mind, your speech settle, those impurities will also settle down and allow this clarity, this awareness to surface. So little by little. So now we're going to do a meditation on Tong-len, the practice of giving and taking, which is basically the coming together of the previous practices that we've been doing, that being loving kindness, compassion, and all done on the basis of equanimity. So let's go right into the practice. First, let's take a couple of minutes to come back to the body and to prepare it for the meditation. In whichever way you see more convenient, go through the process of settling down, allowing body, speech and mind to become calm and relaxed. If you find it beneficial, you might take 3 deep breaths, or simply go through the process of scanning the body, letting go of tension, whatever suits you better. Simply allow the body to come back to its natural state, accompanied by the speech and the mind. And always maintaining an open heart, keeping the motivation present. And now gently letting go of all physical sensations, we turn the attention to the mind and heart. So this practice is done on the basis of equanimity. So allow this awareness that we've cultivated last night in order to view all beings as equal to you, acknowledging the common ground between us all, our wish for happiness and to be free of suffering, but also our potential to reach a state which is completely free of all problems and filled with well-being and joy. Allow this awareness to arise and to extend, to cover absolutely everyone. To acknowledge the fact that we can give rise to the minds of loving kindness and compassion, regardless of our relationship with a particular person. Bring to mind the impermanence and the dependent nature of all relationships. Let go of your bias towards certain person and just accept that all beings are deserving of our care and our compassion. And with that in mind, we start the practice of giving and taking, but as we do in other practices, we start with ourselves. Because how can we help others when we ourselves are suffering? So to begin with, you can think of any problems, any difficulties that you currently undergo. If you're not familiar with the practice, you can simply think of a problem which is not that big, something mild, such as a pain in the knee, something that you can actually tackle. Try your best to be realistic. And accepting the fact that we undergo different sufferings, body and mind. we can take it into ourselves to heal, to first get rid of those sufferings and bring happiness and joy to our lives. So giving rise to the mind of loving kindness, thinking deeply and sincerely, may I be happy, allowing this mind to manifest in the form of a sphere of white light at your heart. With every out-breath, give yourself this happiness and joy. Allow this light to shine entirely within your body. And combining that with the mind of compassion, wishing deeply and sincerely, may I be free of all sufferings and all the causes of suffering. With the in-breath, take upon this sphere of white light, this problem, this difficulty that agitates your mind and it upsets you. Breathing in, allow the suffering to dissolve, and breathing out, give yourself all the happiness that you deserve. You can again imagine that the suffering manifests in the form of a dark cloud, which is immediately dissipated once the in-breath carries it towards the sphere of white light shining brightly at your heart. Continue wishing, may I be happy, may I be free of suffering, may I have all the causes that bring me happiness, may I be free of all the causes that bring suffering. And feel the relief, feel the joy. Feel your body and mind becoming lighter. Feel happiness arising and problems dissolving. Feel the joy. And having that sense of loving kindness and compassion towards yourself gives you the opportunity to show that same kindness, that same concern towards others. So bring your mind to a loved one, a person who you cherish, perhaps a family member, a friend, a partner, someone you know very well. And knowing them very well, you also know that they undergo different problems. They're also suffering. And there's nothing more that they want but to be happy. So breathing out, allow this light and warmth of loving kindness to go toward them, giving them all your merit, all your well-being, all your good qualities. shining upon them. And breathing in, let the cloud of their problems and difficulties to be pulled and dissolved in the sphere of white light. Wishing gently and sincerely from your heart, may you be happy. May you be free of suffering. Giving love and taking problems. Notice your emotional reaction to all of this. Imagine this loved one being free of all the problems that they have and also obtaining whatever it is that they need to be happy. Imagine the light of your heart shining upon them, transforming into whatever they need to feel joyful and content. Imagine the dark cloud of suffering becoming thinner and thinner until it completely disappears, not one trace left. And be happy yourself to have this wonderful opportunity. To generate love and compassion towards somebody who you care about, somebody you love and appreciate. This person is now smiling, feeling joyful. Their body becomes light and their mind peaceful. Give yourself the space to feel the same. Feel the joy. And then gently allow them to dissolve into your heart, making the light brighter. Increasing this feeling of loving kindness. This time take your attention to the person sitting right next to you. Again, acknowledge our situation. We're all in the same boat. We're all undergoing difficulties of body or mind. And yet we all want to be happy. That's for sure. No doubt about it. So opening up your heart to the person sitting right next to you. Determined to do something by yourself, to grant them happiness and to free them from their suffering. Allowing the light to shine brightly as ever, to illuminate their body and their mind. Touch them with the light and the warmth of loving kindness, wishing deeply, sincerely, from your heart, brother, sister, be well, be happy, be joyful. May you have all the causes and conditions that bring you happiness. And breathing in, taking all their suffering. May you be free of all difficulties, of all problems, of all sickness and physical pain. May you be free of anxiety and sadness. May you be free of all the afflictions that influence your mind for negativity. Giving out all your joy and your happiness. Breathe out with loving kindness. And breathing in with compassion. Dissolve all the suffering of others. And feel the joy, feel the appreciation, feel the happiness that it creates. And now simply release all appearances. Release all thoughts, all worries and concerns. And take a moment to abide, to let the mind rest in stillness. Simply coming in touch with the clear nature of your own mind. With this source of loving kindness and compassion. This mind which is completely equanimous, wishing all beings to be happy and free of suffering.